So the Rammstein circus just rolled into town. There were of course lights, fires, baby strollers, giant spewing sausages, lifeboats, and insane noise. But what is actually fun, and was the music good as well? Why do they do the merch like this? What the fuck with that opening act? And should you go and see this show? Rammstein just kicked off their European stadium tour with two sold-out 120,000 people in total shows here in Prague. They did a pre-show, 4,000 people fan club only 2 days earlier, but these two main shows, 120,000 people. I decided to do something different. I've seen this band so many times that I've lost count, and I've always been up front, and now I wanted to see the whole show from the back, so I decided to find seats way back so that I would see the whole stage and everything, but that came, guys, at a price. The weather was nice. I decided to go early and I wanted to get myself a new t-shirt, maybe a baseball cap or something like that. But when I showed up, I found out there was a 2 hours wait for the merch. And then I got to my seat like 5 minutes before the opening act would start. Admittedly, I knew nothing about them. I had no idea what to expect. The opening act was Abelard. It's a French duo, piano duo, and they basically played piano versions of Rammstein songs for an hour. So when Rammstein then finally came on stage, I can't really say that these girls had managed to work out the crowd. And with this opening act not turning on the crowd, and then the sun still up, and Rammstein show being heavily dependent on the interplay between music and lights and fires and stuff like that, the atmo just wasn't really good for the first 3-4 songs. And for example, they played that song Mein Herz brennt, and from the granny stand where I was seeing, we couldn't even see the fire when Till Lindemann put himself on fire like he always does. But this improved from like song 7 and onwards, you know, and the sun went down, the crowd got going, and the show got more and more extreme somehow. They were, you know, burning that infant trolley. They tried to boil a band member in a massive pot, and Till Lindemann's DNA was spread all over an eager crowd in the front. They played an acoustic version of Engel on a B stage, and then they got ferried back on these lifeboats to the main stage. So that was really cool stuff, and but it kind of got going after like 7 songs. And as for the band performance, I saw the band 2 years ago, and at that time I felt that Till Lindemann took a while to kind of hit his stride, and I felt that he was tired back then. This time, not as much somehow, but I can imagine that this can be difficult. It's a very demanding show, you know, there's a lot of stuff happening and he's kind of the centerpiece of the whole thing. So I felt that, you know, sometimes he was struggling with singing at the same time as doing all the other stuff that he had to do. But I mean, when he was singing, it was good. The rest of the band is super tight. I mean, it's amazing that they can produce this noise and this wall of sound for, you know, such a big venue. It's just insane. And as a testament of the noise, then I do live 9 kilometers from that stadium. And the night before, where I was not there and I was at home, I heard every single song and I could sing along. I mean, there wasn't really like a crowd engagement apart from, you know, having the crowd singing in the choruses and stuff like that. I think Till Lindemann said Prague once in the start of the concert or something like that. Crowd where I was sitting was quite dull, you know. They were barely singing along, and I felt a little bit bad when I was trying to sing along because people were kind of looking at me, what's wrong with him. But I got a view in the back that I have never seen before, and that was totally worth it. They played a total of 21 songs from 7 different albums, so that was a great mix. I didn't feel that any songs were missing. It was a 2-hour show, so you kind of get a lot for your money. Now, as I said, the show is just in a different league, and that's kind of what makes this band. I mean, perfectly honestly, I don't really listen to Rammstein a lot kind of in my day-to-day life, but I love to see them live, and this is one of those bands that I would always like to go back and see again and again. On the other hand, there is nothing really new happening. I mean, this is basically the same show that I saw 2 years ago and the same show that I saw 2 years before that or whatever. Now, the verdict, the pros of this is that the show is just an amazing thing. And when they got on, it was amazing, and the sound was great, and the volume is so high that, you know, it's still buzzing in my ears now 12 hours after I left. It was a good song mix. I didn't feel that anything was missing there. of the stuff that I really like, so all the standard hits are there. The negatives or the cons of this, it took a while to get the atmosphere up, and I think that the warm-up choice didn't really help with that, because as I said, I mean, it was just a bizarre thing to listen to a piano concert with Rammstein for an hour before listening to Rammstein. There is nothing new in this show, so, you know, if you've been seeing them recently, then you won't see anything big, new, or massive changes or something like that. Now, the crowd where I was sitting was dull. I mean, I can't blame the band. I mean, it's a 60,000 people event, and the band can't get the grannies in the back like me to get up on the chairs and stuff like that. And the merch stuff, that was just super bizarre, you know, for such a big band, for such a big event, to have just 3 little stands and let people wait for 2 hours, that's just bizarre. So I'm gonna give this actually 8.5 out of 10. So to be honest, it wasn't as much fun as I expected somehow. I've had more fun on Rammstein. But on the other hand, I got to see the show in all its glory from the back. Next time I will definitely go to the front. Now, should you go and see them? If you have never seen them, then go. You just have to see these bands at least once in your lifetime. It's a mandatory thing. Now, if you saw them recently, you won't be seeing anything new. But, you know, it's Rammstein. You could maybe try something like experiment, go to the back or go to the front or something like that. Now, if you were there, tell me what you think. I would be happy to hear about that. You know, I would be also very happy if you'd like and subscribe to my channel for more concert reviews, album reviews and interviews. And then I have this video here about an up-and-coming band that played recently in Prague. It's called The Warning. 3 sisters from Mexico. Really interesting stuff. And then I have this here about Judas Priest. They're on their Invincible Shield tour following up on the new album. Check that video here.